Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. We are very pleased to have this afternoon the University of Saskatchewan. And of course, you are going to have the opportunity to get information directly from representatives from the University of Saskatchewan about their programs, their services, and at the same time, you will have the opportunity to receive information from two students from Latin America. So I am very happy that we have a very important number of people participating or this webinar today. So I'm going to start right away sharing with you the agenda of the day. So basically, we are going to start with a brief presentation of the Caldo Consortium. Then I will give the stage to the University of Saskatchewan. And in the last 10 minutes of the session, we will pass to the question and answer section. Please, as you probably know already, uh, type your questions in the Q&A section on the platform, and we will try to respond as soon as we get the questions. We will try to respond and provide you an information right away. Otherwise, we will try to get most of the questions solved at the end of the presentation. So just please feel free to submit all your questions and comments directly through this section of the platform. So let's start right away with the presentation. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So can you see it? Please, if someone could confirm that.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to, all right. Okay, so everything is fine, Lodi?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So welcome again to everyone that is joining us at this moment. And we are going to share briefly some information about Caldo. And right away, after finishing this very brief presentation, I am going to give the words to the university, to the representatives of the University of Saskatchewan, that they will share information about their programs and services. Okay, so let's start right away talking about Caldo. What is Caldo? Basically, Caldo is a consortium of top Canadian research universities. Of course, the University of Saskatchewan is one of our members. And we offer through Caldo members universities a very important number of graduates programs uh, in English, but also in French, because probably you are aware that Canada is a bilingual country. So some of our universities, such as the University of Saskatchewan, offer the programs in English, but at the same time, we have some Caldo members universities that could offer programs in French. Caldo works directly in Latin America. We have signed up to now around 12 different agreements with 9 different countries in the region, from Mexico up to Chile. And we basically build partnerships with government agencies and funding partners from different governments in Latin America. For instance, we do have agreements with CONACYT and Educafin in Mexico, MinCiencias in Colombia, ANID in Chile, ANI, Uruguay, etc., and many others in Peru, Panama, and many other countries in the region. At the same time, through Caldo, we provide advice and support to candidates coming from Latin America interested in studying master's and PhD programs at Caldo members universities. Basically, thesis-based master's degrees, research masters, and PhD programs. What are the Caldo members universities? Certainly the University of Saskatchewan, that we are going to get the information in the following minutes. But the other members of the consortium are the University of Alberta, Dalhousie University, Université Laval, which is one of the universities that offer their programs in French, McMaster University, University of Saskatchewan, University of Toronto, University of Waterloo, and Western University. What do we do in terms of providing benefits and providing information to the students through Caldo? Well, we understand that sometimes it's a little bit complicated to get information about the programs, the universities, and so on, especially when you have to navigate in different websites and where the information is mainly offered in English or French. So through Caldo, we have one single point of access to the 8 Caldo members universities. And through our support, we are going to help you to navigate through the different programs and to help you understand how to contact, how to communicate with different potential supervisors, especially because we are talking about research kind of masters and PhD programs, and at the same time to provide information regarding any topic that you must need to know before arriving to our universities for studying in Canada. Of course, you can get a lot of Caldo information and information regarding the universities, tools to apply, and at the same time, information about the programs through our website, caldo.ca. And particularly at the homepage, you are going to find a program browser where you will have the chance to type the kind of program that is part of your interest, and you could choose the university of interest or let the field open and the degree that you are looking for, master's or PhD. And of course, you are going to get right away the information about the different programs offered through our university. So we invite you to get as much information as possible before even making any connection with the universities or with Caldo, because with more information that you could provide to us, we are going to be in a better position to support your application and provide you advice in terms of what are the following steps for applying to master's or PhD. So I am going to stop here my initial presentation. So thank you again to every one of you for taking the time to be here this afternoon. Here you can see some pictures of Canada, and at the same time, you can follow us through different social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. And you are going to be able to get information that I am pretty sure will be very valuable for your application process. So I'm going to stop my presentation and thank you so much. And right now I'm going to pass the stage and give the words right away to Shiny from the University of Saskatchewan, who is the star of this afternoon. And of course, she will be very pleased to provide you all the information that you are looking for. Thank you. And please, Shiny, go ahead.
Thanks, Rodrigo. Thank you for that great introduction. So I'll show you that we actually have 4 speakers today from the University of Saskatchewan that will be talking to you. So today we have Jordan, myself, Danielle, and Jose talking to you about the University of Saskatchewan, the services that we offer, and also the experiences of the students here. So Danielle and Jose are 2 students. So I'll give it away to Danielle to start us off and talk about his experience as a student here. And then Jose, you can continue on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shainei, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm a master's student at the University of Saskatchewan. I'm doing my master at the Veterinary College. I will touch three important points today, like my own experience as a graduate student, also like my opinion about the city of Saskatoon and how this pandemic has affected or how are we dealing with this pandemic here. Um, First of all, well, I'm so grateful of being a graduate student here at the University of Saskatchewan. Like professors are very supportive most of the time. Most people are very nice. It has been really important to me also to get experience and to make friends from all over the world. Like this university is very multicultural, so I have friends from Africa, from Asia, and it is really interesting. It has been really interesting for me to appreciate that. I really like also like this university provide us some help with or financial support, which is highly appreciated for us as students. Like I'm from Colombia, and in my experience, we don't have that kind of things back home. The second point that I want to touch is like about Saskatoon. Like this city is, I really like it. It's not a huge city, but it's not a small either. It's plenty of activities. Um, and as well as the university, it is very multicultural. There is people also from all over the world. The people here are very welcoming, very nice. It was also like my first time abroad of my country, so I have enjoyed like the seasons, like how things change, like between months, and how the activities change. Like you can do different things in the winter, different things in the summer. The skies here are amazing in the different seasons, so I love it. There is a river, you can do kayaking, fishing. There are so many things. Like the restaurants is like it's the city with most restaurants per capita in Canada, so that's very neat here. And about COVID, um, I would say that it certainly affected my research. I couldn't do any sampling because I have to go out and, which I love, like travel across the province and visit different farmers, make connections with them. But it got canceled last year during for the pandemic. The vet college they implanted some protocols to keep us all safe, and we still are working with them, but they are more flexible right now. So this year I have been able to go back to the field and go back to work to the lab, and that's really important. Like last year I took advantage, so I took all my online courses, and also I kind of had some time to do extra activities that I wanted to do, like learn ice skating or getting into photography. um in general, I would say like I'm very happy here. And I think that that's all I wanted to share today with you guys. So I think that Jose is the next.
Thank you, Danielle. Yes, Jose, if you want to go ahead and talk about your experiences here at the University of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, sure. Hi, thanks. I want to thank Caldo for organizing this event and Shiny and Jordan for inviting me to share my experience with upcoming students. And as I was introduced, my name is Jose. I'm from Brazil, and I'm doing my doctoral studies here at the University of Saskatchewan in electrical engineering. And I also really enjoy studying and living in Saskatoon. So I'm going to tell you some reasons why I like it. And first, my wife and I, we chose Canada for our doctoral studies based on a good experience that she had back in 2012 when she spent about a year studying in Ottawa with an undergraduate scholarship from a collaboration between the Brazilian government and Caldo. And at that very time, I was doing an internship at the Brazilian synchrotron, and there I learned about the Canadian light source that you will hear more about today here. And when we were finishing our masters and started looking for place to do our PhDs, Saskatoon was at the top of our list. But upon arriving here, we were not sure about what to expect of the city because we were so focused on the university and our new labs and the research that we were going to do. But we really came to love what we found here. And as Daniel said, the city is great. I'm from a not too big city called Florianopolis. It's a small island in the south of Brazil, but my wife, she's from São Paulo, which is a huge city. And both of us, we enjoy living here. And because people, they are warm and welcome newcomers. And even in the beginning, my speaking was very rough, but no one ever laughed or complained about it. Actually, they were always prone to help me to do better. I also like this atmosphere full of different culture brought by the new immigrants, the culture created by the Canadians, and the culture that has been here for centuries. I think this conciliation between cultures is stronger here than in other places around. And the city itself, it's great. Besides the university, of course, it has different museums, pubs, clubs, and lots of local beers. So lots of good local beer you will find here. And also, there are good hospitals. And I don't know about you, but I, as a father, I do care about having good hospitals nearby. So I hope you can be here like in the next summer to enjoy the nice festivals that we have usually in the summer. And I'm reading this, missing this from the pre-pandemic world. At USask, I have had the chance to engage in different activities beside my research, like social clubs and graduate student representation assemblies. And in my research, I'm really lucky to work at a national facility because I ended up doing my research at the Canadian Light Source and to collaborate with researchers from many other countries like Mexico, Germany, and others. And I don't know about the education systems in other Latin America countries, but the one in Brazil it's a bit different from here. So here it's nice that you have the chance to earn some money while helping in the lectures, like a marker or teaching assistant, because in Brazil we don't get paid for that, and you can use this to help paying the tuitions. And there are also some bursaries and awards available for international students that you can apply. And because leaving our home countries can be challenging in many ways, but I'm sure that you can find support here in many levels, like students from the same country that you are, or people from the international office, like Jordan will talk more about it. And regarding COVID, in my perspective, the university really did a well job going from the in-person to remote, like in the winter of 2020, when the first case was found in town. I was working as a marker for a course, and I saw this really quick and smooth transition. Like it happened in a couple of weeks, I guess, and the universe was closed for everybody. And this was a remarkable job done by the IT staff and the administration. And I'm really proud about how the College of Engineering followed the best recommendations from health authorities and put our safe first and sent everybody to work from home. And I felt really safe at that time. And but of course, all the lab work had to be stopped, so we had to focus on different aspects like simulations and literature review. But in summary, I'm really happy the way that how my studies and my life are progressing here, and I'm convinced that you find amazing opportunities here for your career as well.
Thank you, Jose, for sharing your experiences. I think that's really great that you were able to talk about how the pandemic has affected your studies. So now I would like to talk a little bit about our programs and what we offer at the University of Saskatchewan. So, right. So you see that Jordan will be talking after me about our international student services that we offer. And thank you for all the great questions that we are getting in the Q&A box. I'm trying to answer all of them as they come in, and I'll also answer more of them as I go through this presentation. So hopefully you'll get some answers there. So the University of Saskatchewan is located in the vibrant city of Saskatoon on Treaty 6 territory, which is also the homeland of the Métis people and the ancestral lands of the First Nations in Canada. If you look into the map, you can see that we are between Manitoba to the east and Alberta to the west. And as some people say, Saskatchewan is difficult to pronounce, but easy to draw. Saskatchewan is an emerging economic power in Canada. It is the breadbasket of Canada with more than 40% of cultivated farmland, which is the 50% of the farmland in Canada. First producer and importer of cereals and legumes, and a major source of potash and uranium. Saskatchewan is also the major reservoir of water, fresh water in Canada, with more than 100,000 lakes. Nearly 10% of Saskatchewan's surface area is actually water. We have 2 national parks and countless provincial parks for you to explore when you get here, from boreal forests in the north to grasslands in the south. And in the winter, you can even do ice fishing. So that's a really unique experience that you get in Saskatchewan because we have so many lakes and we are really famous for our fishing. People from all around the world come here to fish. We have beautiful picturesque landscapes in Saskatchewan, like this one. It looks like one of those old school Windows Microsoft desktop screensavers. So yeah, that's really what Saskatchewan skies look like. And so this is another example. In the fall, Saskatchewan has some really beautiful seasons and colors. Saskatchewan is also called a province of the living skies. So we have the most impressive multicolor and always changing skies. And yes, you can see the aurora borealis from Saskatoon. The city of Saskatoon is the biggest city in the province, followed by the capital city of Regina. Saskatoon is home to more than 280,000 people. We're also called Toontown or City of Bridges because we have 7 bridges to connect west and east sides, since the South Saskatchewan River runs right through the middle of the city that you can see here in the picture as well. Saskatoon was ranked the 18th place to visit in 2018 by the New York Times, and it has also been recognized as a foodie destination by Forbes magazine. So I'm sure the students, Jose and Danielle, as they said, they really enjoyed Saskatoon and they really like living here. So they get to enjoy the wonderful and diverse restaurants that we have in Saskatoon as well. And as both of them talked about the culture of the city and they talked about the festivals, so we do have a lot of festivals during the summer. Some of them have been virtual last year and this year, but hopefully next year they'll all be back in person and you'll be able to enjoy the city and what it has to offer. You can also see people enjoying the banks of our river, running through our downtown, and 2 of the 7 bridges in the city of Bridges here in the picture as well. And it's a 20-minute walk from downtown to take you right to our campus. So we also have Salsa by the River, which is a group of dancers who come and dance by the river in the summer, in the evening. So hopefully we'll have that back next year as well. This is our campus, which is located on the east side of the city, which is about 20 minutes walk from downtown, like I said, by crossing the University Bridge. The university was established in 1907, and USAS has a beautiful gray stone Gothic architecture. It has been noted as one of the most beautiful campuses in Canada multiple times. The tree-lined walkways make the summer and fall seasons a beautiful time to be on campus. In the winter, you can get to take advantage of the tunnels, connecting all the major buildings on campus, and avoid stepping outside completely if you live on campus, which might be harder for you as a grad student, but as an undergrad student, you can live right on campus. Grad students live about maybe 5-minute walk from campus, so it's not that bad. And then we are really a campus that is beautiful all season, all year round, in all seasons. And this is a picture of our skating rink that we had on campus a couple of years ago. So hopefully we'll be able to get that back someday. So the University of Saskatchewan family is a big family and it is growing. We are more than 25,000 students from 132 different countries. The USAS students come from all around the world and can become part of the USAS family in communities throughout Saskatchewan. Our main campus is located in Saskatoon, but we do have different campuses all around Saskatchewan. And we offer a range of programming from introductory classes all the way through full degree programs and disciplines. And we also have signature areas of research for our graduate programs. So while we offer many programs beyond these signature areas of research, this is what our focus is mostly on. So our research explores diverse areas, including cancer treatment, crop development, animal and human vaccines, business, education, Aboriginal issues, natural resource development, sustainability, energy, space sciences, and nuclear physics, and we're engaged in research partnerships worldwide. So one of our strongest focus is on collaborative interdisciplinary research, and we aim to solve global issues such as infectious diseases and food and water security. Research at USask is enhanced by some of the most advanced research centers and facilities in the world, such as the VIDO Intervac. VIDO Intervac is the International Vaccine Development Institute right here on campus. It's one of the world's largest and most advanced containment level 3 facilities, and is a global leader in infectious disease research and vaccine development. Recently, with a donation from Blue Cross, it has become one step closer to becoming Canada's Centre for Pandemic Research. VIDO Intervac researchers are developing vaccines for new and emerging diseases such as Zika, respiratory infections such as COVID-19 and tuberculosis, as well as diseases in cattle, pigs, and poultry. The VIDO Intervac has developed 8 commercialized animal vaccines, 6 of the world's first, and was the first in Canada to isolate virus that caused COVID-19, the first in Canada to develop an animal model, and the first Canadian university organization to have a COVID-19 vaccine in clinical trials. We also have the Global Institute for Water Security right here on our campus, which supports the sustainable use of the world's water resources and protects against natural hazards like flood and drought. USask is ranked 1st in Canada and 18th in North America for water resources research. And it is also the home to the Global Water Futures Network, which is the largest university-led network for water research programs worldwide. And as the world's population continues to grow, so does the demand for safe, reliable food. The Global Institute for Food Security is a partnership between government, private business, and USask, and is working to find solutions to this global challenge. Researchers at the Global Institute for Food Security have recently decoded the genomes for both bread wheat and durum wheat, discoveries that will benefit farmers globally. The Global Institute for Food Security is also developing new technologies to enhance seed quality and make plants more robust and resilient to disease and insects. And as Jose said, he has worked with the Canadian Light Source, which is a national research facility of USask and Canada's only synchrotron, located right here in Saskatoon at the University of Saskatchewan. It produces the brightest light in Canada, millions of times brighter than even the sun. It is used by more than 1,000 scientists from around the world every year in groundbreaking health, agricultural, environmental, and advanced materials research. Recently, scientists used the CLS to make structural changes to an antibody that is showing a lot of potential for reducing the growth of cancer tumors. So guided by our university plan, the University of the World Needs, our graduates address global challenges, and they're recognized for their strong work ethics, resourceful nature, and determination. And they're leading the change here at home and around the world. And we are also recognized in the world, as you can see, as top 4 in a number of programs and number 1 in the world for a water resources program. I won't get into the details of the programs that we offer, but they are available on our website, grad.usas.ca. We have over 140 programs in 80 plus fields of study. So make sure you check us out and see what programs we offer. If you have questions about our programs or how to apply to the University of Saskatchewan programs, you're free to get in touch with us. Our email is right there, which is grad.recruit@usas.ca, or visit our website or our social media. And then I'll also pass it on to Jordan to talk a little bit about our services.
Okay, can everyone hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now I'm just going to share my screen here. Give me one moment. Shani, can you clarify for me? Do you see the PowerPoint slide and not the PowerPoint side screen?
Yes, I see the PowerPoint slide.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome everyone to the session. Hope you've been enjoying it so far and that you found it very useful. As Shani mentioned, my name is Jordan and I work at the International Student and Study Abroad Center. I apologize if you don't recognize me because my photo is actually substantially different than what I look like now. I feel like I've aged several years throughout the pandemic, and definitely a new hairstyle that I had to administer on my own definitely has changed my appearance. Anyway, so I work at the International Student and Study Abroad Center at the University of Saskatchewan. So after you go through admissions and you've been accepted, it's about getting settled in Saskatchewan and figuring out how the university works and what, immigration, things like that. That's where our office comes in. And that's what I want to talk to you all today about. Let's see if there's this sidebar. So for today, I wanted to chat about Latin American students at the University of Saskatchewan, a little bit of what our office is and what the services we offer are, as well as other services similar to ours that you might need to access during your time at the University of Saskatchewan if you choose to come here, as well as I'm here to answer any questions and concerns you might have as well. So if you were to choose the University of Saskatchewan, coming from Latin America, you wouldn't feel like you are too far away from home, even if you are physically, because there are actually over 200 students in undergraduate or graduate level classes or programs that come from Latin American countries. So there's going to be a lot of cultural familiarity, as you can see from Jose or Daniel as well. The students on campus are actually very active in providing representation as well as social programs and settlement services for one another through the Brazilian Student Association, which I work with closely with Jose, who was a member of that group for many years. There has been a Mexican student group on campus as well as various iterations of a Latin American Student Association. And there's always very active participation between these groups at our Global Village celebration at the end of each year, which is a celebration hosted by over 20 different international and cultural student groups to celebrate diversity and representation at the University of Saskatchewan. So you'll be far away from home, but it might very well feel like home while you're at the University of Saskatchewan. International students themselves come with a variety of different challenges, barriers, and experiences that, let's say, domestic students might not have. So these unique experiences might come to adapting to academic and non-academic life in Canada. As well, what's important to note, like any cultures around the world, international students are not a monolith, meaning they aren't just one identity. They come from a varying cultures and backgrounds, which presents different challenges, experiences, and also strengths as well. One thing international students will commonly say to me at the office is that they want an opportunity to meet more Canadians, that they sometimes feel like they're stuck in their international student communities. And that's where our office comes in, the International Student and Study Abroad Center, or ISAC for short. We are a resource and campus partner for all students, staff, and faculty, and are dedicated to fostering a welcoming, globally aware, and engaged campus community. So we are the non-academic student services unit for all incoming and current international students, that's degree-seeking students like yourselves, along with outgoing exchange students and incoming exchange students that might be part of the university. So non-academic student services. What that means is if you have questions about your admissions, about your course selection, about things related to your classes, you might not want to start with us because we're what's called a non-academic support office. So we're here to assist international students in their transition to life on campus and in Canada. So what I like to see us as is the tour guide for international students in multiple ways. Tour guide not only for Canadian life and Canadian culture, for this new surrounding, but also for the university itself. So the university itself involves a variety of different levers and departments that you need to consult to make things happen, whether it's your academics, social life, recreational, that you might not be familiar with because it's going to be different from country to country. So that's where we come in. We are kind of consider us your first point of reference. We might not have all the answers, but we'll always refer you to the people who do. We are primarily also concerned with partnering with internationalization efforts across campus. So that means working with the admissions office, with Shiny and with Caldo to present this session today and other large initiatives on campus. And of course, we are a resource for all international students, staff, and faculty at USask. So what does this actually look like? So in terms of our services, we are heavily involved with pre-arrival services and orientation programming provided at the beginning of each term. So as new students come into the University of Saskatchewan, we will provide an orientation at the beginning of the term through not only just through one big event, but also through a variety of different small workshops and online programming that we can help prepare you to life in Canada and at USask. And I do want to show you that it's not, especially because of COVID-19, it's not just about events for us now, but it is also about online orientation programming. So I just want to give you an example here. Shani, can you give me a confirmation that you can see my screen here?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So we have this page here, transition to USask, online or on campus, because some students are coming to campus, some students are choosing to study online. So we do host our new International Student Welcome every year, and that's a big one-day event. But as well, we have modules that students can log into and learn once they are accepted into the University of Saskatchewan on topics such as study permits and immigration, working in Canada, managing cultural adaptation, which is a huge thing when you're coming from a new country and perhaps you've never lived abroad before, as well as healthcare in Canada. So it's very important that you have all the appropriate coverage while you're here. So that's just a sampling of some of the online pre-arrival and arrival services that we offer. Throughout the year, we also offer drop-in advising services where students can come and ask us questions. And in those sessions, we offer RISIA immigration advising. So what that means is RISIA is Regulated International Student Immigration Advisor. So those are credentialed immigration advisors on our staff, and I am one of them, who can provide information about advice on study permits and other things related to student immigration to Canada, specifically about being students. Throughout the year, we also offer a variety of settlement and immigration workshops as well, so you don't just need to get the information from our advising sessions. And importantly, we also have, through our student assistance staff, social events and activities throughout the year, where, let's say, if it's on campus, we'll take students on trips around the city, maybe smaller social events hosted in our lounge and space, that just to give people an opportunity to connect with one another, and maybe even connect with Canadians and local students. This photo here is from a mini stick tournament from a Canada Day celebration we had in our lounge, where everyone had to dress stereotypically Canadian. We ate Canadian food and played mini sticks, which is a kind of a playful version of ice hockey, which I'm sure you're all familiar is a very popular sport here in Canada. Again, our drop-in advising services are offered Monday to Friday, 9 to 12, typically on campus, but because of COVID-19 for a year, we've been offering all of these this advising via Zoom. Importantly, we're not going to be able to help you until you're actually admitted to the University of Saskatchewan. So until you're admitted, please continue to direct your inquiries to the admissions department. And if there's anything they need to refer to us, they will. But especially the immigration aspects, we cannot legally advise you until you are formally accepted into the University of Saskatchewan. And I can provide a link to the Zoom after my presentation here. Another key aspect of our services is writing the title. So it's International Student and Study Abroad Center. So international student is kind of the key international student settlement parts that I just discussed. But we also assist students to go abroad and get international student experience as part of their program. So we support outbound and inbound student mobility programs. So there are some short-term students who come to our university as well, who let's say aren't getting a full degree, but instead coming here for just an experience and to take some classes in Canada. And it comes in a variety of different forms, whether it's short-term programs over the summer, full semesters, or maybe even two semesters for a full academic year. We have partnerships with over 136 institutions in over 40 countries. And I guess, graduate students don't tend to take part in study abroad, but it's important to note that study abroad programming, or if you wanted to go study in another country and get credit for your program, is still available if you are technically an international student. If you're taking a degree at the University of Saskatchewan, you are eligible for these types of programs. So it would be something worth talking to our office about if you wanted to explore that. I know you technically already be studying abroad, so maybe you wouldn't want to jump to go study somewhere else right away again, but just know that those types of programs are available to you. Additionally, we also, through our office, we administer what's called the Student Travel Awards, and this is very pertinent to graduate students. So once things with COVID-19 settle down and travel for students is permitted, many graduate students go present at seminars around the world. And we can offer some funding to assist with that. That's just one of the examples of the ways that we can fund you through our Student Travel Awards. And then we also administer what's called the International Travel Registry, which is just our way of recording all the students who are traveling for academic purposes at any point in time. This was, of course, incredibly relevant once COVID-19 broke out, and we had to look to bring back as many students as we could while the pandemic was, while all the travel restrictions were starting to come into place. Lastly, we always look to create an intercultural and internationalized campus. And we look to do that through a variety of different programs. One of the key things is through what's called our Global Connections Network, which is a collaboration between our office and over 20 different cultural and international student groups with international mandates. And we look to promote intercultural programming at the University of Saskatchewan through that. And that means not just supporting the groups that are their own programs, but doing events like the Global Village event that I described earlier. For example, the Brazilian Students Association will host events throughout the year. They partnered with, in past years, they partnered with the Latin American Student Association to host an event called Carnival. Groups like the Chinese Students and Scholars Association host events, the India Students Association. There's, for most international student populations or cultural backgrounds, there is some form of group for you to be a part in. And you don't need to restrict yourself to, let's say, just the groups where you might have cultural familiarity, but it's a great opportunity to engage with students of other backgrounds, because our campus, despite being in the middle of Canada and seemingly away from the bigger centers like Toronto and Vancouver, can be very diverse and representative of many places around the world. Additionally, another program that we offer is our Building Bridges program. So it's a collaboration between our office and the Aboriginal Student Center, and provides programming with a focus on international Aboriginal relations and cultural understandings. So Canada is a settler colonial society with settlers and Native Indigenous populations. And this program is a way to highlight Indigenous ways of knowing and to really engage populations that maybe wouldn't have an opportunity to come to an understanding of the Canadian context and the colonial environment as well. Last thing I want to note is, and I've kind of sprinkled this in throughout what I've presented on, but COVID-19 has impacted our office's services. So we are currently closed physically, but all our services are being offered remotely. The advising is online, our social events are online, our study abroad programming was only online, so we had students study abroad while sitting in Canada, but taking classes in countries around the world. But we are, as the university has announced, we are slowly transitioning, hopefully, to a more on-campus model, and we look forward to hosting students on campus in the near future when safety and everything permits. Now, additionally, we aren't just the only support office here to assist you. There are a variety of different ones. I did mention the Aboriginal Student Center, but different offices perform different functions, and we might refer you to those offices throughout your time here at the University of Saskatchewan. So as a brief overview, an office called Access and Equity Services looks to assist students with perhaps cognitive or physical or neurodiverse approaches to the world, and provide various support services in that regard. Our office, I feel I've talked at length about. Student Central is kind of like the main hub for most student inquiries. Many students will start there with questions about their registration, financial holds, aspects of finances, paying tuition. It's kind of a great place to start and then get referred out. Student Employment and Career Center looks to assist students in developing their professional capacities, because obviously we're not all going to be students forever, and we all will transition to, even if it is research, we are transitioning to some sort of professional life. So Student Employment Career Center can offer a variety of great services that I've accessed in the past as well, such as interview workshops or practice sessions on getting interviews, how to develop your resume, how to go about a job search in Canada. Things that you can actually start utilizing while you're a student, because while you're a student, you might be able to work in Canada as well. And I think is probably one of, beyond our office, is probably one of the offices most accessed by international students. And of course, there's our Student Wellness Center, which is the mental and physical health office for students on campus, which is essentially a medical clinic for all students. And it's important to note that these are covered as part of your student fees. Shani, I think I covered everything I needed to. Before we transition to questions, was there anything you feel I didn't cover in this presentation that you would like me to touch upon?
No, I think that was good. Thanks, Jordan. So I do have some questions here. So one student wants to know if they can bring their family over, and if they are bringing their family over, do you know if they get to study as well?
Okay, that's a great question. So I am a regulated international student immigration advisor, so I can give immigration advice to students, but I can't speak to your specific case. But I can give you a very general description right now as to what that answer is. And the answer is yes. Students bring their families over all the time, and the Canadian immigration system allows for that to happen. So if you have received a study permit, you are a study permit holder, at your point of application for your study permit, you can actually apply to bring your spouse over. So if your spouse is going to be a student, they could apply for their own study permit as well. If they're not planning to be a student and they want to be in Canada and support you, there's a very generous application for what's called a spousal work permit, which means your spouse can get a work permit that'll be valid for the length of your study permit. As well, if you have any minor children that you want to bring over for school as well, they can of course come with you, and they can come as visitors, or they can come on study permits as well. I haven't seen a situation where a student younger than 18 came on a work permit. That just isn't possible. So yes, your young children can come with you as visitors or study as well.
Thanks, Jordan. Another question for you is that, do you know if the students can apply for permanent residency after attending University of Saskatchewan?
So that's a great question that I can't answer directly. So my credential is Regulated International Student Immigration Advisor. It specifically excludes me from providing advice directly on permanent residency. So I don't even know the answers if you pressed me to give them to you. But what I can say is that as an international student who receives a study permit and completes a program, an eligible program that is longer than 8 months in duration in Canada, you might be eligible to receive what's called a post-graduation work permit, which means you can work in Canada, depending on the duration of your program, between 8 months to 3 years, and use that experience to help you to apply for a permanent residency application. Whether that means you're going to get permanent residency, I'm not telling you today, but students can use that experience they gain while working on the postgraduate work permit to go towards a permanent residency application.
Thanks, Jordan. So there are a few other questions. Rodrigo, do you have anything to say before I start answering some of those questions?
Well, I just gonna say that I am surprised the speed of your answers because you were able to answer most of the question meanwhile Jordan was speaking. So I think that it was great. I just want to say to everyone, if for some reason some of the questions are not answered right away today in the presentation, all the questions are going to be given to the team of the University of Saskatchewan, and they will be able to follow up with you later on. So don't worry about that. But I know that based on the time available, probably you are going to be able to answer most of the questions that have been presented at the session.
Yeah, I think there's only a few left. So for most of what I'm seeing is people are asking about specific requirements for their program. I would recommend that you contact the department that you want to apply for, or you can reach out to our email at grad.recruit@usas.ca or visit our website, grad.usas.ca, and that has a lot of information, especially if you want to know, for example, do you need a GMAT or a GRE for an MBA, or if you're interested in a master's degree and what kind of scholarships we offer, and all that information is on our website. And if you can't find it, then obviously you can send us an email. I would be happy to help you. And there is a question about housing. So yes, we can help you with housing on campus. We do have a graduate house right on campus. So if you want to apply for that, for sure, you can. If you want to apply for outside off-campus housing, then I believe that ISAC, where Jordan works, offers some help, but you can also search for housing on other areas in Saskatoon. Is that correct, Jordan?
We can direct you to the reference sources of information. We would of course not be able to direct you to or recommend a specific house for you to live in, nor would we, like, let's say in advance of you coming here, go look at a property for you and give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down as to whether it's appropriate for you. But so ultimately, I think what's important to note is that whether you're going to be getting housing on or off campus, it's your responsibility to obtain it. But if you need resources to help look for these, we can certainly assist you. But again, it'll be your responsibility to obtain them.
Yes, for sure. And I think like sometimes when it gets intimidating to find accommodation off campus, I think it's really great that we have a residence that offers you family housing as well. We have family housing right on campus as well. So definitely, if you're considering housing, consider residence right on campus. Yeah. It's great, and you don't have to go looking around for apartments. For sure. And once you get here, you can change to off-campus housing if you wish to, or if you want to continue to stay on campus, you can.
That's a very good point, Shane. And I just want to add one more thing about that. Sure. We do find that, or I guess maybe I shouldn't say that. I tend to recommend to students that if you are coming for your first year, to consider strongly staying in residence for that first year. It allows you to be at a place not only near campus, but it allows you an opportunity to build a bit of a community on campus before going off campus. You are going to be surprised by the Canadian winter, no matter how many videos you look at and how much warm clothing you bring. And living far away from campus when it's that cold and taking buses can be quite alienating, and just makes your first year experience just a little bit more difficult. So when you're on campus, it's closer, the walk is very short, it's at most 10, 15 minutes. And you have other people around you, so you're making friends a lot quicker. So that's always my recommendation to students.
Thanks, Jordan. Okay, I think I've answered most of the questions. Some questions are specific to the program, so definitely just check out the website. Otherwise, yeah, get in touch with us by email.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Chiny, for all your information. Thank you, Jordan, for your very good presentation as well. Thank you, Jose, Daniel. I just want to ask to every one of you if there is some additional information that you want to share. Probably, I don't know, Daniel, Jose, or some of you that wants to share something else before ending the session.
Yes, if you don't mind, I might quickly just put a few links into the chat that people are welcome to look at. It'll be a link to our advising, a general page on our office, which will have the link to our advising. as well as the arrival page that I looked at, that I discussed. And lastly, I think it's important that I also share a page that we have on COVID-19 and how the travel and vaccine and testing requirements are impacting international students. By the time any of you are all admitted and traveling to Canada, these will obviously have changed, but it's important to consider them now and be checking in with our office before you board a plane to come to Canada.
Thank you, Jordan. Shiny, there is something else that you want to add?
No, I think that's good. Thank you.
Excellent. I just want to say thank you to every one of you. Thank you again, Jordan, Shiny, Jose, Daniel, for all your great information. I think that is a very useful everything that you were sharing with everyone. At the same time, I totally agree with what Jose, Daniel were sharing about their experiences as an international students at the University of Saskatchewan or in Canada overall. Uh, I came to study as well a couple of years ago. Of course, I wasn't classmate of Jose and Daniel, but I passed through that experience some years ago, and I could reassure to every one of you that the experience of studying at any Caldo members university is wonderful, and to be an international student is a great experience. You have a lot to learn from different people coming from different part of the world, and that is something that of course is a crucial experience when someone is coming from another country. So I have been at the University of Saskatchewan, great campus, wonderful city, a lot of things to do. So I am pretty sure that most of you could be very interested in applying and understanding a little bit more about the labs and the research that the university is doing. So we will be more than happy at the Caldo Consortium, and I am pretty sure at the University of Saskatchewan to help you in finding out the right information for completing your application process. So if unless that somebody else wants to mention something, I am going to end the session. Uh, so thank you so much and have a wonderful evening, everyone. I hope that every one of you are going to be very safe, and especially due to the current pandemic situation. So I wish you to all of you and your families all the best. And well, we hope to see you sometime here in Canada. Good afternoon and see you in another webinar.